What up, though? Hey, gang. What's up? Welcome to your Fire Tribe report. This is the Peace Dealer, and we are going to cook up this fire sign insight relative to Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Um, Unlike the other tribe reports that will be exclusive for Infinity Club members, happy birthday, Aries. All right. This is going to be publicly available. So you're more than welcome to check this out once again. Um, Courtesy of Aries' birthday, this video will be publicly available. You will have access to it. And yeah, that being said, so you'll be able to check this out. And like I just mentioned, we will break down the transits for Aries. So, like I will mention at the end of this, check out the link in the description below for those of you who would like a live reading. Just email me your chart or your sun, moon, and rising, and I will break down this Aries season for you relative to your natal chart. All right. So shout out to Aries Nation. All right. Aries is definitely going to be a top 5 sign for a minute. It's been a minute. Aries has never shied away from a top 5 list yearly, but it was one of the signs that kind of took a back seat while other signs were being, of course, more focused on. And as I will speak on with Leo is making a definite comeback. Aries, you're one of the most important zodiac signs right now. Cancer is riding that Jupiter high. They peaked in high school. I'm joking. They peaked 2025. Gemini 2024 was Gemini's year. 2025 and the first half of 2026, it's Cancer, and then Leo is going to take over. So Aries, you're very significant concerning the, of course, reboot, concerning Saturn and Neptune. All right, you're passing the torch of Chiron to Taurus. Taurus has been carrying a lot of the collective individually. They've been in the top 5 list since 2018, so we might see that kind of shift into more Gemini, Aquarius, Aries, Gemini. Very important signs for the next few years. And yeah, I think this is going to be very exciting because fire brings rawness, it brings excitement, and brings, all sorts of trouble, amongst other things. And it brings the light. All right. Also brings very painful second and third degree burns. So just be very mindful of who you're pissing off, what fire signs you're pissing off, what fire signs you're bringing onto your side. It's it's really going to matter more than ever. So Aries, happy birthday. Of course, we are going to be talking about not just Aries season, but the cycle being activated with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. All right. And we might as well start off with Aries, the motherfucking one. Aries, let me remind you, you're the motherfucking one. Okay. You the one. And considering that all sorts of people's like plots and storylines are getting rebooted, reset, some even retconned, it's very important for you to stay original. It's very important for you to stay original. In fact, you're instituting with everyone else a new plot and world, a whole new world of originality. Okay. And without you, we're not going to have all the other zodiac signs desperately copy off your homework and kind of act like they started something when it was you, right? But that being said, as well, there's original novel inventive directions you're going to be taking that inspire others towards, a path or way that they couldn't have thought on their own because you're the original. All right. And we'll really go into defining what's next, what's the new hot shit, who you are. Okay. Who are you? And that's what brings us to Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Okay. For you Aries risings, for you Aries suns, this is making a 0 to 30 degree angle to your sun or moon, thus activating the cycle. Aries rising, natal or progressed, it's in your first house. So this is actively not only defining your character and having you take authentic actions that define who you are, but Saturn and Neptune are activating these transcendent and karmic cycles to test through you all year how bout it you are. So the activation with Saturn alone is not only bringing in a whole new world of integrity, it's literally asking you to match the universe's gangster. And let me say it the other way around. The universe is going to match your gangster. What rules are you setting on the table? Saturn is all about authority, especially going through a rising sign. It's like starting a business from scratch. There's all this added responsibility on you that you have to take the risk for, and it may not pay off until a couple of years later, the second house transit, right? So, like, certain liabilities, certain added responsibilities are on you. And this could feel like a weight jacket. It could feel like a bit more gravity, but this takes the bitch out of you. You know what I'm saying? It has you call out the bitch in other people. You feel me? No, but that being said, like, this is definitely going to set you up very powerfully, despite Saturn being in its fall or not. This is, I see you Aries as being on the warpath. I think you're going to smack a lot of people, and you're going to let people know daddy's home, and you're not tolerating any kind of bullshit, because these are the rules of your table. All right. And that's really the first part. Shout out to Lesby Technical. Thank you. Of this return, of this, of course, you know what I'm saying? Transit. I got cut off for doing it. That's how you know you're doing it right. When you walk into the room and you say, it smell like bitch in here. All right. It's going to piss a lot of people off. All right. You have, excuse my language. So I'm going to be cursing, right? Because we're being vulgar here. You have dicks, you have pussies, and you have assholes. All right. And assholes smell shit and think everyone's full of shit. And you, as the dick, you fuck pussies and assholes. And you have to do this in a position to set things in line. Otherwise, assholes are just going to shit on everything. And pussies are fucking pussies. So they're just going to think you're being a dick, mistake you for an asshole, and support the assholes because they're fucking pussies. So you have to fuck these pussies and keep them in line. And that's going to mean you're going to come off as a dick. All right. Team America, fuck yeah. It's just the facts. And don't let your purpose in in your life, all right, putting these assholes in their place and fucking the shit out of these pussies. Don't let that distract you. Don't get pussy whipped out here, so that you're not even effective to deal with these assholes. And that's going to really require being a raging dick, being a raging penis. Whether you were born with a penis or not, whether you're a male or a female, you're activating this Aries potency to lay down the line. As long as no dicks are grouping together, and of course sword crossing and sword fighting, we don't need that. All right. And pink limelight, yes, get the D that you want. All right. Just don't let anybody play with you. Don't let anybody play with you. Esoteric Bray, thank you for joining us. We do things a little bit different over here. You feel me? But like, yes, okay. And yes, I am cursing. I'm going to be very vulgar this Aries season. You don't want to be a pussy that's just going to get shit on by assholes and fucked by dicks. You don't want to be an asshole that's just going to be some loser just trying to shit on everything. You want to be the dick. You want to be the one fucking and not the one fucked. All right. That being said, that's going to require laying down the fucking law and telling people smell like bitch in here. All right. Are you going to get mad because I'm enforcing my rules? Get mad, you fucking pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like allow all that manipulative post Piscean, oh, you're this and you're enabling them. Tell them to shut the fuck up and to suck your dick. Tell them this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. You're getting with it or you're getting gone. Shut the fuck up talking to me. That's it. Do you have to be, a dick? Yes. But I mean, as long as you don't fold, as long as you're not out here going back on your word, that's not our ninja way. We don't do that shit. Okay. So as you are defining your character, you are of course, holding yourself and others accountable to integrity, rules that you will abide by, and as a consequence other people better abide by or suffer the consequences. Okay, if there's a certain way you're carrying yourself, you are going to define that this season. All right. They got too comfortable being compromised hypocrites. Let's go, Rochelle. That's what I'm talking about. And that's why you need to bring out the long dick of the law and fuck some sense into these pussies. I swear to God. All right. I know that sounds a certain way. Don't take my word for it. You're going to see and experience this yourself. I smell, is that you? Come on, way too comfortable. And that's where a disruptive presence like you that doesn't have the time to sit comfortable being mediocre as fuck, you're going to frustrate other people. You're going to frustrate others who realize they can't cut corners around you. And like Pink Limelight, some people might try to cut you off because of it, because you're not allowing yourself to fold to some bullshit, because you're putting your foot down and you're actually establishing some ground rules when it comes to you with people who thought they can just enjoy whatever leverage they had over you and be easy. God forbid you put them to work. Okay, so Aries, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. Like this is you rebooting the franchise, and Neptune is reimagining the creativity that goes into this. And that's where with Venus and Chiron, that by the end of March, coming into March 30 into April, is going to start to polish your wealth. And that's something very important as well, because as an Aries rising, shout out to Giselle, as an Aries sun or an Aries rising, the reason why this is very important is now Uranus is concluding its innovation of your wealth. Very important. Coming into Taurus season or the end of Aries season, which we'll see, Venus is going to conjunct Uranus in your second. You're going to have that cycle of innovating the beauty of your worth. This is a fancy way of saying you're finna be rich. You already rich. You finna be luxurious off of your own value. All right. This is really good for those of you working independently. It's going to really like buff your catalog. But of course, a whole lot of this Aries season is defining what this integrity is before we're going to break this through in Libra season, where you will be challenged on how well it is you've spent 6 months, of course, defining your character so that you will present that to others. It starts in Aries. And yes, for those of you who just joined, the Aries risings, natal or progress. So if you are progressed Aries rising, this is also going to play out for you as well. The natal is only different in the sense that they have progressed to Taurus now. So it's going to be a lot more accurate for the progressed risings because that's where you're at right now. But yes, natal, progressed Aries rising, this is the integrity in defining your character. And that's where now Mars and Mercury on the North Node coming out your 12th house is establishing this final level of unconscious competence, the release and surrender of beliefs that you can literally just forget about because you have worked so much on your habits. This is no longer a second thought. You have imagineered and really set the authority of said beliefs to where now you're fully focused on how you're defining your character and applying those beliefs. So a lot of that coming out of the 12th is trining what? The 4th house, of course, in Cancer. And it's also very significant because for you Aries risings or progressed Aries risings, Jupiter going direct in the fourth is facilitating moves for a lot of you. Okay. Even if you're not physically moving, Jupiter is sponsoring moving residences, renovating your inner space, expanding your home space, allowing yourself to feel a lot more comfortable in said space. And that's where, of course, challenging yourself out your comfort zone is going to come with this conclusion of the previous Jupiter activation last year, June 2025, where we conjuncted this in the fourth. And it's good that you hope to move because this is will be properly sponsored as this will travel into Leo, and then you'll start to integrate more creativity in your community and connect socially with this place around where you're going to. That's immediately going to catch you up to speed. So Aries now is the final step. The first sign is the final step towards the previous Cancer cycle conjunction, where we began to conjunct in the beginning of the fourth. Of course, this cycle of expanding your comfort zone and this deeper understanding of who you feel you are is being completed by the definition of who you are. And you're being challenged to take the more softer and more deeper understanding of where you're from, who you feel comfortable in your private space allowing in, relative to the raw, hard, captivating, and authentic definition of your character that maintains that rugged authenticity without being too caring, without being too soft. And that's what the square is, because you don't want to be so much of a raging asshole or dick. You can't empathize with others, but you don't want to be so soft that you let people walk over you. That's the Aries Cancer dilemma before we polish in Libra so that all these axes are met. All right. Too much Libra, not enough Aries. You're too much of a people pleaser. You care a little bit too much about other people. Too much Aries, not enough Libra. You're ultra selfish and you only care about yourself, which I actually recommend relative to this period. If you were going to choose one, choose yourself for this period. Like if we have the North Node in Libra, get over yourself. We don't. Fuck anybody else who not seeing what you see. Like it's going to come off uber selfish. Too much Cancer. Now we're just too emotional. You know what I'm saying? We're too in our feelings. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Stop being a bitch. You feel me? Like, so this is a really good balance where Cancer is going to provide the empathy for you to actually feel how you can connect with others while establishing the authenticity and rawness of Aries. Okay. And that's going to facilitate moves for a lot of you, especially once again for the fourth house. And shout out to North Node Libra and Libra. All right. So, remember, Libra is your op. So make sure, you don't let Libra manipulate you, Aries or Aries placements. You manipulate Libra. You tell Libra what to do and let them know you got the Reaper. This is not 2010 when Saturn was in their sign and they were manipulating social constructs to make you out a villain. This is your time for revenge. This is your time for get back. I remember what you did, Libra. This is your time, Aries. Okay, make sure we make this very clear. We're not playing. We're not fucking playing. Okay, cool. So that being said, very powerful stuff. Yes, Uranus, we're going to talk about it in Gemini soon, but the sextile that Aries is having to Pluto and Aquarius, very important, because now this is going to really define not only the integrity of who you are, but how that is awakening communities around you. We had the conjunction in your 11th. So now the sextile in your first or in Aries is through these authentic actions going to continue to not just define this, but with Chiron coming out of Aries, it's going to revisit the sense of self-healing that the new moon, this is so very important, the new moon we're going to have is on Chiron. So this is also going to take into account this transcendent Neptune cycle, the karmic Saturn cycle, and now with Chiron, how you're taking this reimagination of your character, this gangsterification of your character, stepping into the integrity. This is the integrity of who I am. This is me being really me with no holding back. Chiron is going to apply how much more powerfully you heal yourself and now trigger other people. This is the only other thing with Chiron on here. You're going to be triggering the fuck out of other people because see, Aries, when you trigger someone, it's because they're fucking bitch. Excuse my language. Aries is fire. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's rough to deal with Aries, but I'm not a bitch ass nigga. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I can handle the fire. I'm gonna be like, ouch, you kind of cooked me, but I know there's some reality to what you're saying. I don't like what you said, but I know you're being authentic. You know what I'm saying? When you told me to stop being a weak ass bitch, I understand you only said that because maybe I was being a bitch and you need to tell me. I'm not going to turn into a pussy and be like, oh, I don't like that Aries is calling me a bitch. It's like, you're a fucking bitch. That's why Aries triggered you. Like, that's really it. Like, you can't handle the heat. Aries can be very out of pocket sometimes. All right, and Giselle, thank you so much for mentioning natal Chiron Aries. Aries could be very tough sometimes, but like, stop being a pussy and like, you'll be okay. And I'm not saying this to you watching this. For you watching this, this is going to be the reaction to people reacting to you. And this is where we can get highly manipulative, right? Like, in a sense where you standing up for yourself and you establishing respect for yourself could be twisted into you thinking you're better than other people. Oh, how dare you draw these boundaries? Who do you think you are? I told you who the fuck I think I am. That mofo. I'm him. I'm her, bitch. What do you think? And that's your attitude, period. Okay. Period. I love it. No, for real. So just something to keep in mind. Chiron in Aries is going to be rough. It's going to be rough, but with the right intention, it's really just snuffing out inauthenticity. And Pisces was necessary to transcend old ego issues, which required at a collective level being soft. There is a need, there's a role in this Piscean sense of releasing the ego and being soft. We are done with Pisces. We're into Aries. And the negative part of the Pisces is getting so comfortable in that softness, we turn into weak little bitches. And Aries is turning the fire up. And it's like, no, we're done with that. Wake up, wake up. All right. And that's going to jar a lot of people who want to stay sensitive and soft. And for most of you watching me may not necessarily see yourself as a dick like that. You may not see yourself as confrontative or mean. And people, don't be surprised if you start to sense people looking at you like that, not because you're mean, but because you're putting your foot down. So really keep that in mind. All right. The full moon we're going to have in Libra is going to harvest, coming into the beginning of April, a balanced understanding of how the integrity of your character is actively shaping your relationships with other people. It's going to give you feedback from now, the new moon to the moon in Virgo. This is my integrity. This is who I am. These are my thoughts. This is what I feel. This is what I'm good at doing. This is how I behave. Take it or leave it. Once we have the full moon, now people are being challenged to deal with this new version of you. Oh, this person comes with rules. Oh, this person is not backing down on their ninja way. Wow. And people who aren't losers are going to respect it. I'm going to keep it above. The only reason why someone will hate that is because they're a goddamn loser. And this is going to now separate and deviate who you're getting ready to move forward with and who is going to have to fall on the wayside. This is going to be especially impactful for women especially with the Neptune placement, because Aries is a masculine power, whether you're a male or female, and it's going to have you push forward in ways that can break old gender roles around what a woman is supposed to do or not. A power like this favors masculinity and males who are already typecast to be in that role, to be assertive. So this can rub certain men the wrong way who feel like it's not your place to like take certain action, with which tell that dude to suck your big fat penis and to shut the fuck up talking to you and to stop sounding like a bitch. Like that's it. That's really the energy. They're gonna tell you it's not ladylike. Tell them to shut the fuck up. Like that's really, whether they're a male or a female, it's that type of energy, because any self-respecting man will see what you're doing and salute you and see you respect yourself. It's really, and it's not about male or female, but like, just I'm kind of noting those dynamics because we're coming out of an old world where a lot of this rhetoric and a lot of these narratives really flew and had no place really anywhere. Okay. So it's not saying you can't honor previous gender roles, but it's just something to not get trapped into, because a lot of people are going to feel uncomfortable, and they're going to make their uncomfort your problem. And whether you're a male or female, a huge element of Aries season are people who are just straight bitch made. So they're going to try and make you dim your light to feel more comfortable in themselves. But Aries is about sparking your light and being raw and unconventional and authentic in a way that shakes and disrupts things up. And so be it. So by the time we have that new moon in Aries, you have configured the sense of your personality and character you're ready to move forward with. And that's going to bring us into, I think, one of the most lucrative and exciting Taurus and Gemini seasons that's immediately going to define the value of this new gangster that you are, and the ideas, the innovative ideas that will really now activate really unconventional abilities, and how quickly you'll be manifesting things just by saying them, because you're stepping forward so much powerfully. All right. So, yep, I hope you enjoy that. Once again, for those of you who would like a live reading, you want me to look at your chart and to see perhaps how Aries season will play out for you, feel free to join the queue. All right, we ready to take off. And this is really going to take into account the past 10 years of how you've been working hard. All right, that being said, let's get to Leo. Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo moon. If you're a best Leo rising because your natal rising was in Cancer and it's in Leo now, or Gemini, this applies to you as well. If you're a progressed Leo sun, this applies to you as well. Natal Leo sun or rising, you're coming back, Leo. Listen, they tried to count you out. You went independent. You were like, you know what? These producers do not pay me enough. I'm the reason they're selling as much tickets as they're selling to their movies. Fuck that bullshit. I'm going independent. And that's what you did 2018. And it terrified a lot of people, because it's like, fuck, now the one person who we hire to sell us tickets now thinks they can be a producer, and they're making their own independent movies, and they're making fucking bank. Now we have to run fucking media and commercials to make them look crazy. And we had to cancel you. And Leo, you went through the thick of it. 2021, 2022, 2023, they tried to kill you. I'm not gonna hold you. They really tried to come for you because you had the audacity to disrupt the system and to kind of not cut corners, but kind of, you know, skip certain steps and just kind of go straight to the source. And that whole process was, how many of you folded and just kind of tucked tail back to a producer? And how many of you stayed independent? Because it's going to pay off now more than ever before. Leo, this comeback was written in the stars. This comeback you're about to make coming into July was prophesied. And it's immediately setting up the Aquarius Leo war, which makes me think the conflicts we're going to have throughout the rest of the decade are going to be more than just nuclear. It's going to be very interesting. All right. I don't know why they're setting up beef against you in Aquarius, Leo, but this shit is about to be dramatic as all hell. And it's going to be very interesting. especially for the Leos who have integrity. Like Leos who are out of integrity and just got too wrapped up with narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder, and like they can't really get over their fucking selves. You're going to see everything crumble around you. You're going to continue to lose relationships, and it's just going to really revisit why you need to tone it down. You need to kind of work better with other people. But I don't necessarily see every Leo like that. I see certain Leos maintaining integrity and have been unfairly ganged up upon because you got swag, and other people are lame as fuck and they're jealous of your swag, Leo. It's really, I hate to say it like that, but a lot of these motherfuckers are lame as fuck. Like with Aries, Aries is dealing with a lot of bitch made people who are just straight up pussy. Leo, a lot of motherfuckers are lame. Like they don't have your swag, and they're just going to be jealous as fuck of you because you be flexing. You flex on a lot of people and they just can't hang with you. And so, like, your comeback, you're just going to continue to be flexing. And you're going to say, listen, I know a lot of you bitches were talking shit. Well, here, I'm going to flexing some more. But now it's not as simple as that. And a lot of that has to do with Jupiter coming out your 12th, which was the timeout period you needed to lick your wounds and to really release old feelings about the last 12 years. You 12 years ago up until now is nothing compared to you moving forward, where Uranus is going into Gemini. Okay. And with Uranus going into Gemini, that's going to innovate more support amongst your community in the most radical and unconventional of ways. It is now pretty much applying everything you've succeeded unconventionally. All right. And now that Saturn is in Aries, this is exalting the philosophical approach towards your own identity, but it's also you leading by example your own personality, putting Aries in that ninth house space. Unlike Aries that identifies and embodies this sense of raw individuality, it's you teaching individuality through how you use your own persona to show people how to be fucking lit. All right. So, Leo, this is very important because you're going to go down the red carpet again when Jupiter returns into Leo. But Aries season is, of course, the ascent back into success, which is very important relative to August of last year. That really, with the new moon, had you kick off this cycle. You're concluding that this is a final breakthrough since Aquarius season, which now makes the sextile of the sun to Pluto and Aquarius very significant, because Pluto and Aquarius is not only awakening extreme hatred towards you, it's also awakening a supernatural advanced quality of partnerships that is more cosmically telepathic. Don't ask me what cosmic telepathy means, and opens up more unconventional situations within these relationships. By the time we have Uranus in your 11th and Pluto in your 7th, it's going to be sci-fi. Like the way with which you even communicate with augmented technology and changes the relationship between you and your communities as a performer, Leo, as a social royalty, it's going to really intensify a whole lot of this drama and plot. Okay. And that's where your integrity will make or break you. And the way with which you show and in the ninth and lead, for example, of what that looks like is being defined now. Everything you define now, as far as the individual actions that map out a lot of what you're teaching and showing people in 6 months from now, is going to turn into the social actions that define your mindset, your social skills, and a lot of who you're connecting with socially. And I will show you that 6 months from now, we're going to have the Libra season. Where's Jupiter? In Leo. Where's the nodes? In Leo. Where's Uranus? In Gemini. Where's Saturn and Neptune? In Aries. Where's Pluto? In Aquarius retrograde. So by the time we start to integrate and push forward socially, you have already spent 6 months from Aries defining the philosophical approach of what it means to be you. 6 months from now, you're going to take this approach and you're going to show it to people socially. It's going to be your social skills. It's going to be your mindset, where now you're saying, I believe authenticity should be what I lead forward with. And that everything I do, no matter how confrontational it is, must be authentic to me. In 6 months in Libra season, when you're defining your social skills and you're in these social spaces, how are you going to act towards these people authentically? You're going to polish classically what you are defining now. And the sextile to Pluto in your seventh is extending and expanding this awakening of your relationships with people, this unconventional and radical revolution of your interpersonal relationship skills. Let me kind of break that down though, because Pluto in the seventh for me is like you being a performer, and Pluto is people trying to kill you. So it's like you're not backing down like a coward because people are trying to kill you. You're bringing your gat on stage and you're like, yes, big Leo, and I got the hammer. I wish somebody would. Fire God, boom, boom. And everybody's saying, yeah, yeah, hold on. Yeah, somebody tried to shoot me. Like, you're just the very act of you performing is revolutionary, because just look at how much more unhinged people are. It's taking in the climate of increased attacks, increased mass shootings, increased unrest when it comes to these dynamics. And it makes any social event you do during this period matter that much more. Okay. So it's just something to keep in mind, because by the time we move through Taurus and Gemini, this is going to really practically ground what accomplishments and rewards you will be actively innovating. And of course, we do have Uranus in your 10th house still, which is actively finalizing the innovation of your success. So by the time Venus moves into Taurus at the end of this week, and we come into April 1st and 2nd with the full moon from your 3rd to your 9th, Venus is going to start to polish your accomplishments. Venus is about to start to ground more practically and beautify more naturally what kind of success you'll attract, what kind of success and fertile ground will open up the unconventional windfalls of income, the unexpected windfalls of income that you've been developing since 2018. It's very important. If we go back to 2018, if we go back to 2019, the unconventional, innovative quality of unique projects or services or qualities that you manifested that looked weird as fuck to people when you innovated and pioneered this, but now it's getting ready to pay off like never before. This is going to put you in more of a position to be up. And AJ, thank you. I got your PayPal. I got you on a live reading. So this is very beautiful. And it's definitely going to revisit since 2018 the risks you've made to really kind of take the path less traveled when it comes to career success, and over the rest of this decade really put you in a position to unconventionally innovate what kind of support you come into through Gemini, and how you'll be able to communicate with individuals who have always been on your team and who have always been in your corner. Okay. Now that Saturn is out of spiritual warfare, 8th house, this is putting you, especially if you're a Leo rising, progressed, or natal, it's putting you in a position to consolidate who you trust. All right. Because now that 8th house boundary lesson is over. The North Node is unlocking wealth for you. It's the most important thing. The South Node coming out of your 2nd house is not only unlocking wealth, taking your own resources to invest in those who believe in you, but then the South Node is going to go into your sign, and the North Node is going to go into Aquarius, and it's going to awaken this unconventional supernatural quality of relationships based on who you're meant to trust. And that's why Saturn through the 8th was rocky for a lot of relationships. People who kind of end their marriages or relationships through the 8th with Saturn there of shared resources and shared bank accounts. It's an integrity check. It's a karma check. It's a form of protection, as well as, of course, if you're on the wrong side of karma, being liquidated for all your worth especially if you trusted the wrong person or you didn't really pay attention to the red flags. I want to be neutral here because it's not I don't want to really set off that one person's the evil person and the other person is always a two-way street. So these are things that are being consolidated, and it will be very freeing coming into the ninth house for you. And once again, Leo, your comeback is revolutionary. I'm placing stocks in you. A lot of people are talking shit about you, Leo, and they don't. I know your comeback is about to be fucking righteous. You and Aquarius are coming back in the same year, which is fucking crazy, and you just have to stay resilient. Like once we step into Leo season, people are gonna act brand new, and they're gonna pretend that they haven't been talking shit on you the whole time when they see how good you're about to have shit popping. By the time we come into Virgo Libra season and you let people know you're fucking back and all these lame ass haters, it's reckoning. Like it's going to be a fucking moment. It's going to be a huge event. So until then, just relax. You're closing out the previous cycle. Aries season is going to define the integrity of your own philosophy, your way of life. How do you attach this way of life to who you are? Go back to October of last year. A lot of how you defined your mindset, that's what's breaking through right now. The social actions you took 6 months ago are now the individual actions you're breaking through to redefine, reimagine, and add more authority relative to teaching people how to be themselves. And that's the authority you're going to really be, right? And calling each one out of their true name, muggle ass bitch. I love it. All right. So the ninth house Aries is you having the authority to teach people how to be themselves by you being yourself, by you leading by example. And that build up eventually to Saturn and Chiron and Taurus is just going to set up more wealth for you. So just stay vigilant, stay diligent. All right. And know that you have a lot in the works in your favor. Of course, the full moon and new moon is going to release a lot of your attitude, your social skills, and how this defines the direction you are moving authentically, especially with the new moon. That's not only going to activate this, but because the full moon and new moon are going to T square and square Jupiter in your 12th. A lot of these aspects to Jupiter in your 12th are really just feeding the unconscious competence that old emotional patterns are being replaced with, to where a lot of things that you may, like for example 12 years ago, the things that would have crushed you emotionally now is like, that's it. What? And confirm this for me. Let me know if that's called emotional growth. Like, let me know if I'm wrong. Let's go back to 2013. Let's go back to 2014. Let's go back to 2012. The things that would have probably had you behind closed doors, like crushed emotionally, now you just laughing at it. It's like, I can't believe I cared about that shit. Like you're completely evolved. And it's time for you to step into it. So a lot of the Aries definition of your identity has to align with unconscious feelings, unconscious habits you don't let get in your way, because now you're done with the old script. You're done with the old narrative. You're not the superstar that producers were trying to jerk around and lowball so that they can get more of the profit. You're independent now. You make your own movies. You make your own money. You're giving these people a run for their money. You're a fucking threat. And when you come back, the whole world is gonna know not to fuck with Leo. Like, I don't want to be, I'm not trying to glaze you right now, but like your comeback is canon. Like there's so much being set up in place just for your comeback. I'm taking it serious. I'm keeping it a buck. This year is for Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini. But you know who's going to be number one this year, even if just for a year? You, Leo. You, Leo. All right. The next year, Virgo is going to be number one again, like the second half of 2027. So you're still going to beast the first half of 2027. Embrace it. And this is the preparation for that. This is going to really activate the original direction that you're going to make your comeback towards. And don't let up for anybody. Don't slow down for anybody. You know, Be the lion. That's the huge revolution. Because Leo, people are forgetting you're king, queen of the jungle. All right. People thought they could domesticate you. People thought they could put you in a zoo, in a cage, and you just been biding your time. You know what I'm saying? You playing along, but you like, ooh, the first thing I'm gonna do when I get out this cage is eat all you bitches. Yup. You motherfuckers don't even know. Yup. You thought you can lock a young jungle lord up. You thought you could lock me up in this cage. You don't even know my escape is imminent. I'm about to remind you motherfuckers why you should be afraid of the lion. Leo is just chilling. Y'all think Leo is just doing nothing? No, Leo is biding their time. So you gonna try and domesticate me? You gonna try and domesticate me? You've been hearing Leos do the roar, roar. You forgot they could be like, roar, like Leo about to come back, bruh. They just had to pivot, adjust, kind of go through the new patches, and you gonna see, man. You gonna feel Leo come back to their original self, and that's what starts now. People are gonna be like, "Oh wow, interesting." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that being said, shout out to you, Leo. Okay. Right now you're focusing on the direction you're taking your individuality and what direct success coming into May and the rest of April, you're actively going to come into that. So congratulations. And last but not least, we have Sagittarius. Okay. Sagittarius. I really don't know what to say about you. We don't have any like direct placements for you, but everything else is still kind of crazy. Like just knowing Uranus is about to be in your op sign, knowing Uranus is about to go through your seventh house and on top of you having aimbot is terrifying. So your accuracy rate is just about to skyrocket considerably. And like you're just gonna be headshotting people literally automatically. All right, especially for you Sag risings, Swagatarius risings, or progressed risings. Let me be clear, Pluto and Aquarius, for some deranged, demented reason, Diabol Aquarius blessed you with aimbot. So like you don't have to manually aim anymore. You just literally say and do whatever, it's gonna hit its target. Okay. And now your Uranus is gonna go into Sag, and you're just gonna be headshotting people effortlessly, just like bah, 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 bah. Like anyone even talks to you wrong. Headshot, boom, no look. Like what the fuck? And you're not turning it off, which to me is just nothing but terrifying because you can literally just change the meaning of any experience real time. And I don't know how I feel about that. So Aries season is a whole new world of creativity, which is very important. Okay. Aries season with our minds is very significant too. Aries season is going to really reimagine your relationship with your inner child and your talents, which you're already very originally talented. Aries fifth house means that, especially for you Sag rising, the nature of your intelligence is original. It's authentic. It's raw. It's meant to rub people off the wrong way. Ass, 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 ass. Now let that motherfucker hammer time. Like, all right, shake my anaconda. Like that's original fifth house creativity. It's raw, it's fiery. Okay. It's gonna piss off people who they're just not lit. Like you're not lit. That's why Sag is rubbing you off the wrong way. You're probably boring as fuck. Like you things have to be too proper for you. Cool. The wildfire is gonna shake it up. And Saturn is going to add such discipline. It's going to add an entire world of discipline, bringing you back to the drawing board around why you love what you love in the first place. That's going to really now, through your own talents, establish this sense of authority. So this is really cool. When I went through this transit for the first time, before I treated music and content creation and creativity as more like a hobby. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I like doing this. After I took it seriously, it's what made me realize, no, I can really do this. This is something I really want success in. Boom. Saturn not only enables you to take it more seriously, it provides the step by step process with integrity to fulfill just that. But Neptune, or rather, and Neptune reimagining this reboot now transcends any illusions around what you might have felt you needed outside of yourself. Oh, I need this to be more creative. Oh, I just need a new equipment. When it's like, no, you're sourcing this all from your own originality. Okay. So the full moon and the new moon that we're going to have in your 11th, 5th, don't ask me what that sound was, is going to really help you break through the social support that you have towards this definition of your talents. And the new moon is going to activate this new karmic 30-year cycle around unlocking all of your talents. And this is where, of course, with the North Node in your fourth house in Pisces, and Saturn and or rather Mercury and Mars that's trining Jupiter in your eighth, it's going to really reposition the foundation of your beliefs that influence the direction with which you run other people's pockets. And let's make sure we're very clear. Jupiter in your eighth house of other people's money is you running other people's pockets. It's you intimately connecting with the right people and letting them know, listen, I got the good stuff. Run your pockets right now, and I'm going to hook you up. It's you actively evolving how much more intimately you can share your emotions with people. It's very beautiful to see certain Sages being a lot more vulnerable, sharing a lot more of their feelings, being a lot more communicative. And that would be really cute if you also didn't have aimbot and you were just not indiscriminately headshotting people. Like literally, Sagittarius's ability is the ability to roast you. I've seen this in person. Like a Sagittarius can look you in the eye and roast the fuck out of you and embarrass you too. Like what the fuck? Like, who asked you to go in on my shoes right now in front of all these people? Now they're laughing at me. Now Sagittarius needs less than 1 second. Maybe you can see them buffer. Like Virgo will take a good 30 seconds to analyze. Sag just needs 10 seconds to riff. Now it's instantly. They literally just bluntly, just completely roast you. And then you wonder, do you even like me? Do you hate me? You can't really ever tell with these people because it's all a joke, but it's really not. But that being said, yo, like, this is a dangerous position. And now they about to be a lot more creative. They've seen the ways that some of you might have villainized them and polarized them. And like, Sag does not give a fuck. Their best friend is Aquarius, who gives even less of a fuck. And like, it's just something to keep in mind. So Uranus is coming out of y'all sixth house. You've really put in work to innovate unconventionally the natural quality of your lifestyle and your behavioral patterns. It's like innovating how luxurious you can live your life without having to pretty much do too much to come into. It's like doing less and making more money. Let me also kind of once again reestablish that 2018 to now, Uranus coming out of your fifth, because you innovated your creativity from 2010 till 2018. 2018 up until now, right, was the process of innovating your lifestyle. If you did it right, you're doing way less and you're making way more. You've automated your routine. And this is where the angle to your Sag Sun is integrating this sense of unconventionality relative to your ascended awareness. But it's putting you more in a position to apply all of that through Gemini coming into late May, June, to now unconventionally innovate your relationships with people. This is just going to be the automatic headshots that connecting with aimbot, your Pluto in the third, is going to awaken, you heard me, supernatural abilities. And that's another thing we need to keep in mind because once again, Postmodern materialist reductionist science still looks at Aquarius as science fiction and Pisces as fantasy. So the fact that you, over the next 19 years, are actively awakening supernatural claircognizant abilities is going over a lot of people's heads. The fact that you can just wake up knowing more about shit that you have no business knowing is not going to be something that people quantify. The idea that you're able to just come into knowledge without really inductive or deductive reasoning, the idea that you can just know shit, the idea that you can bend energy in ways that go outside the norm of what could realistically once again be measured or quantified is not going to be registered as real. And that's everything that now through Aries, you are radically innovating into how you take these supernatural abilities and define how creatively you push forward in disciplined fashion as talents. In fact, that's really the most important thing about this new moon in Aries. It's going to activate a whole new world of creativity relative to how powerfully you push forward. All of these things are going to integrate through May so that by the time you come into June, July, August, you're taking the development of these new abilities and you're directly applying it towards other people and freaking people the fuck out around how it is you had a conversation with them and now you're detailing everything that they experienced the night before or dreamed about, and you're giving them higher meaning. Whole time you having a small talk conversation about the weather, and you're slightly aware that you know what you did, that you basically interpreted certain things that were hard for them to understand. Right? You can snap your fingers towards someone, and their whole life turns around. With great power comes great responsibility. But you're a terrorist. You're a Sagittarius. So this is really just going to like evoke wildfire and completely burn people alive. All right. So with that being said, this Aries season is definitely going to be dynamic. It's going to be very exciting. You want to ask yourself the same question everyone's asking themselves: is everything I'm doing authentic to me? But this applies more seriously towards your creativity and your habits. All right. Thank you, Alba. Because it's hard for me to put this into words because it's even more supernatural in that. And there's a certain way I can explain it that will be an understatement because I'm almost making too much sense of something that is beyond nonsensical. It's supernatural. It's by definition supernatural. And there's different varying levels of this. As of now, there is an unconscious part of you that's uncomfortable fully expressing it because it forgoes lines of logic and systems of reasoning you were conditioned to feel. And then by 6 months from now, you're going to realize you're not limited by it. You can really color outside the lines. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And you're going to define this moving forward as a leader. All right. So with that being said, one thing I will say for Sagittarius, it can apply to Gemini, but this is a lot more for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you do way better when you perform for yourself. There's performing for the crowd and there's performing for what you love. 10 years ago, performing for the crowd got you the success you got. Now, performing for the crowd, you're going to fall off. You have to go back to what makes you happy. There's certain things you want to do that are going to go against the mainstream expectation that other people want from you. And you are being disciplined to say, fuck the crowd. This is what I like. This is what brings me joy. And you're going to turn on a whole new audience and an existing audience to what you love. And you're going to make that cool. Versus if you try and chase what the crowd wants, worst case scenario, you actually could fulfill that, but you're not doing what you want to do, which is very important and is very significant when it comes to art and creativity. Certain things you may put out may not be what's popping. Certain things that are absolutely beautiful and creative to you might not be appreciated by other people because they want that fucking burger music. They want that fast food, Arby's, I warm it up for 10 seconds, burger bullshit. And you're crafting original home cooked meals that take a while for people to really digest. And you will thank yourself for not compromising and really going in your direction. It's going to immediately attract quality from people who aren't idiots and see talent when they see it. So you have the decision to really curate original works of art that may take time for some people to fully get and appreciate, but will pay off in the short term and the long term. Okay. And by the time that full moon is going to start to break through, who in your corner is supporting good art? Who in your corner is supporting this original creativity? And the new moon is you moving forward to establish this new cycle of creativity and to really push forward with those same people. Okay. All right. So that being said, um, I'm gonna do the live readings. Shout out to the fire signs. Thank you so much. By the way, I didn't mean to insult Arby's. I think Arby's is unfairly hated on their crinkle cut fries are glorious, and they have some good items on their menu. That being said, I'm gonna do the live readings. AJ, thank you very much. I see you got a live reading. So let's see what we have for you. We know, of course, Capricorn moon, you're the great one, the great goddess. Okay. Yup. Sun, Venus, Mercury. So this as a Sag rising with Uranus on your rising, very pivotal. You're going to eventually have a Uranus opposition coming later into the decade. As of now, you're clearing it out your six. So this is a really good position. This is a really good position. This is definitely going to once again, of course, really shape your creativity, your awareness of how much you're returning to form, how much real fun you can have doing what you do. And this is where, once again, with Uranus in Sagittarius, it's going to draw on this visual innovation, this unconventional and visual, of course, innovation of personality, so that as you're integrating how you tie this into your lifestyle attached to your destiny, the Aries season is going to reestablish this totality of creativity, this totality of integrity when it comes to your creativity. Being born a fifth house sun, of course, you've progressed your rising to Capricorn. Your sun is now 1 degree Gemini. So this is also going to set up May 21st. Put down May 21st, 2026, because Uranus is going to conjunct the sun on your progressed sun, which is going to really set you forth on more radical innovation than ever. And the road towards that is shifting the comfort zone around how creative you are. So this is going to be very powerful. This is going to be very beautiful. Of course, once again, with Mercury and Venus coming out your fourth progressed third house, it's shaping a lot of your beliefs relative to, as a progressed Capricorn rising, Jupiter in your progressed seventh house, which is expanding not only over your progressed Cancer moon, the evolution of your soul and how much more powerful you can feel because you recently had a progressed new moon Taurus. So you're activating that new cycle. It is putting the focus towards what more you can do with people and how much more this increased intimacy adds to your wealth and people trusting you with their emotions, which is money. The sincere feelings from other people will translate more into valuable money than actual money. And this is definitely going to be in part of due towards your authenticity and the light with which you even bring being involved in certain scenarios, which I think is also going to be very powerful, very dynamic, and very fun. If anything, the more fun you have this season, the better. And now that we've had the conjunction to Neptune that's squaring your Neptune in Capricorn, Saturn, that of course is also squaring this point. This is going to really kick this off so that by the time we strengthen this and step into the next level, 2027, this is just going to really, heighten more of the energy at play. Grand fire trying Jupiter and Leo with your Sag and Aries placements, and prepare for innovation that you're going to pioneer as Uranus goes into Gemini. So as it's preparing to go into Gemini, AJ, I think you have once again a lot to look forward to relative to this definition of your creativity, and quite literally a whole new world of fun you'll have the opportunity to tap into. So Nadine, I got your Cash App. Thank you very much. We do see, of course, you have your Sun, Moon, and Saturn in Libra, born 77, a couple months after Yay. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What a chart. So you're a reaper. You're a soul reaper. You were born on a new moon on Saturn. That's crazy. You're a gangster, Queen Nadine. And I have to say, Queen Nadine. Absolutely. All right. You come through with this sense of gangster that's very serious about the way you express yourself socially. You're all heart. And the Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Leo is integrity of heart. You're not just going to do things willy-nilly. And that's where this Aries season is really going to go a long way relative to not only how powerfully you take action and carve through your identity and authenticity, but now given the Sagittarius signature, the Sun and eventually Saturn 2027 will make to your Saturn and Sun, it's going to finally break through a lot of what you activated since 2007. So if we go back to 2006 and 2007, when Pluto was in Sagittarius and a lot of these Gen Z crash outs were being born, you had your Saturn return. And it took, of course, until 2022 for you to start to break through the quality of this Saturn return, which is very important because the midpoint of that was 2015, 2013, 2014, 2015, when Saturn was in Scorpio. All right. So a lot of this socially defined karma that you quite literally pioneer in Aquarius started to harvest this higher universal knowledgeable quality that opposite the Leo could have felt pressurized, could have been a lot of pressure, could have been a lot of push to hold you back or to really challenge a lot of your courage. All right. Because you are the integrity of passion and courage. 1977 is such an interesting year. And yeah, Libra, Sun conjunct Pluto. Yep, all heart. So that means he also has Saturn, Leo as well, unless it went into Virgo. But that being said, very, very powerful, and I respect this conjunction. What's also very important is you had a recent Jupiter return last year, and now that Jupiter is on its way into Leo, coming out of Cancer, it's going to really, release old emotions, but really transcend old habits around emotional weaknesses that are no longer weaknesses but strengths. But of course, with the focus being around Aries, now that we're in that breakthrough period since the harvest of Saturn in 2021, 2022 to be exact, this coming into 2027 is going to begin to finally break through a lot of this karmic journey until 2029, when we have Saturn in Taurus concluding the previous 2006 Saturn return. So a lot of this is just going to drive more the direction of this autonomy and authenticity, and how you're leading by example and showing people you're a gangster, how you bleed from the heart authentically. And with Neptune, that will eventually trine your Neptune in Sagittarius through Aries, it's also going to define very powerfully a whole lot of how you innovate and once again transcend said individuality. I think at this stage it's just going to be a lot more fluid, it's going to be a lot more smooth, and you're going to feel a lot more in your own skin, more comfortable in your own skin when it comes to how this is being defined, especially once again with the full moon, because being born in 77, you have the North Node in Libra with Pluto, and your progressed sun is now on Pluto and the nodes. Aries season every year is going to be very pivotal of unlocking and breaking through the individuality needed to transform your relationships with others and the social presence and potency you have. So that makes Aries or April every year really be the 6 month countdown to October every year, where we revisit your progressed Sun, Pluto, North Node in Libra, and the South Node progressed in natal presence in Aries is unlocking that sense of authenticity, especially with the North Node that's getting ready to go in Aquarius. And once we get into July, not only are those of you born in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, you're going to have your Chiron and Taurus return, but now the South Node is going to go into Leo and it's going to start to unlock all of the power in Leo you have, the integrity in Leo you have to reach out and network with the right people, which connects to what? Your North Node in Libra, with which you already have the socially defined power and awareness to know what spaces to take action in to network with the right people. So this is going to get ready to unlock a lot more influence relative to what you've been just holding space for, and integrity that you've been standing on, and how much more you can seek to gain through that as well. Of course, once again, because as a Leo sun and moon, you know what I'm saying, the transit out of Aries into Taurus is going to ground so much innovation relative to the success you come into and the integrity that goes into how you lead by example and move forward authentically, and also challenge the authenticity or lack thereof within others. Okay, so that's what we got. You guys stay blessed as always. Once again, happy birthday, Aries. Because it is Aries' birthday, I will be keeping this public. So this is not exclusive for any other memberships. You guys stay blessed as always. I will resume tomorrow, of course, with the monthly Earth Tribe report. And until then, peace out. Oh, let me end the stream.